Hi people, Deen Castronovo here. For the next 60 minutes we're going to have a lot of fun, and that's the important thing, fun. I want to show you some double bass techniques that have helped work my legs to get strength and stamina so I can do some of the fast stuff that I do. And I'm also going to show you some licks from Wild Dogs, Tony McAlpine, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, Cacophony, and Marty's solo record. Some of the licks that I've done that people have asked me about over the years. Also, I'm doing 3 songs off the new Joy to Foyer record. It's all in this 60-minute thing, so check it out, listen up, have a good time, and let's do it. we are back. It's time to learn some stuff again. Okay, what I want to show you, I want to show you some exercises that I use to build my legs up and just get some coordination in my legs, get some in my feet, get them going, get them moving so I can do all that wailing fast stuff, you know. It's fun, it keeps you going, it's a good thing. So, what I'm going to show you is a basic situation. I start with flams, and to do flams on your bass drum is relatively simple. It's something you just get on there and do it. So I'm going to start with a pattern that goes flam, right, left, right, flam, right, left, right. Okay? So I'm going to show that to you now. Here we go. Watch the footy toes. All right? Here we go. I'm going to do it slow. So here we go. That was simple, huh? No problems? Okay. Getting them faster. I'll let you know what that sounds like after we get to the next one here. The next one I want to do is kind of a same thing. It's a little different. What I'm doing is I'm doing flam right, left, flam right, left, flam right, left. So it's just flam right, nah. So it's fives, I guess. Is that what you would call it? Yeah, fives. Flam right, left, flam right, left, right. Okay, yeah, okay. We're happening. Let me show you how that one goes. Nice and slow so you can get it. As you can see, pretty simple stuff. But I'll tell you, I guarantee you, it's going to build yourself up, and it's going to also give you some serious coordination. It's worked for me, and I've done it pretty much from the time I started playing double bass. I started probably about, I'd say 15 years ago. I started on a single bass, obviously, so I worked my way into it, and that's one of the things that worked for me. It was just going in there and doing those flams, because, man, I'll tell you, after you work on those a little while, your shins are going to hurt, because I know it. And it doesn't feel good, but boy, pain is good for you sometimes. So, I'm going to do them a little quicker for you here and let you know how they go. I'll do them from gradually slow to a little faster, so you know what's going on. Watch careful. Now I'm going to do the flams in a 5 pattern. That was the second thing we learned. Start off slow, go a little faster, and hold it there for a little bit. Here we go. So as you can see, it's pretty easy stuff, but it's good for you. And it works for me. So try it out. If it works for you, great. And give me a call and let me know how it is. Oh, wow. Oh, taking a nap. Sorry. Hey, while we're down here, let me throw this thing away. And let's talk about the bass drum pedals a little bit. Not very many people, get into this aspect of double bass drumming, or even, progressive drumming, or, anything, really. They just kind of say, well, the bass drum pedals, that's what I use, and that's where we go and exercise, which is okay. But I'm going to give you some of the secrets that I've learned and that I'm using now that are extremely beneficial to playing double bass fast and doing some of the licks that I do. Now, what I do is I got the springs extremely tight. Now, sometimes I've talked to a lot of guys that say, man, that's I can't do that. It's a little hard. It's hard to push it down on. But when you got a lot of, push and you got your legs pretty strong, usually, it's like kicking down a door. You're not going to have any problems. So I tighten them really tight. I have no problems with that. Beaters, I usually use wood beaters. We're using the beaters that are stock on the pedals because they look nicer with the drums. So that's the way we're doing it. But I usually use big wooden, like maple rock beaters. So that gives you a little bit extra punch when you bash it. that's basically what I do. I keep them up a little high, pretty much almost to the top level that it can go, that the beater can go, the shaft, so I can just, it just whacks in a major way. The heads I use, I keep pretty tight. I don't keep them real loose because I want to be able to get a lot of bounce out of the head. Reason being, you don't use your legs so much. You don't get so tired. That's an important aspect when you're doing like double bass, heavy metal stuff or real hard rock stuff, fast stuff. You don't want to be, doing stuff like, choo-choo train, and your legs go out on you because you're using most of your leg and you're working your legs so much. So I try to use both the aspects of the pedal being tight and the head being pretty tight too, and that helps. Also, I use a beater pad that has a little like fiber disc in the middle, and those things seem to keep it a little, tighter also. It brings a nice kickback to me so I can push it right back in. Also, when I play, I don't keep my foot flat on the pedal when I'm playing double bass and heavier stuff, as you probably have noticed through the video. I keep my, heel up, and that gives me a little bit more, I don't know what the word is. Come on, give me a word. Give me a word. Yeah, enough push. It gives me a lot of leverage. That's a good word, leverage. And so that, that helps out a lot in that aspect. So that's basically what I do to get the fast double bass stuff going. These are great pedals, by the way. I love these things, the DW Turbos, great pedals. So that helps a lot too. So now that we're done in this area, I think I'll get back to taking a nap. So I'll talk to you in a little bit when the next lesson comes around. See you in a bit. While I've been on the road with Bad English, I've had a lot of questions as to, what did you do on that Tony McAlpine record? What was that lick you did on the second side, the third song or something like that? Or the Wild Dogs record, or Marty Friedman. I've had a lot of these questions, and I figured I would kind of demonstrate some of these licks for you here on this video. And do them slowly, of course, and then build them up so you know what's going on and you can understand, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Now maybe one of these licks is something you've wondered about. Maybe it isn't. So if it isn't, go ahead and turn it off. You can turn the whole thing off. But if it is, go ahead and listen. I'll just show you some of the things. The first thing I'd like to show you is a really simple lick. Most of these are pretty easy. They just sound really difficult. The first one is off the first Wild Dogs record. And it was on a song called Born to Rock. And I've had people come up, what are you doing right after the guitar solo? You're doing this thing where you do a triplet. We can tell you're doing a triplet. And then you do this thing that nobody understands. It sounds like quads. I said, well, it's not quads. What it is it's a pattern of 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're doing 2 on the bass drum, 3 on the tom, 2 on the bass drum, 3 on the tom. But you roll it to where it sounds like quads. And I'll demonstrate it to you slowly. So listen up and tell me what you think. That was a slow version of that lick. Now I'd like to do it to you a little fast and let you know what it sounds like a little faster. It's a little slow there. I didn't do it all as long as it usually is. I will do it now. I just wanted to get you a basic feel of what I was doing. So here it is a little quicker, and you'll be able to tell what it is. I'll click off 4, I'll count off 4, and then I'll start the lick. As you can see, pretty basic situation. It sounds really cool, but if your stereo's not very good, or maybe you have a trashed record that your sister destroyed, you never know. That happens sometimes. It's happened to me. You can't really tell what's going on, and it does kind of sound like quads. It's just like, but that's basically what it is. Pretty simple, no problem. On to the next lick. So this guy comes up to me in New York and says, "Hey, what song is that you do that cool lick on with the ride cymbal and the snare and the double bass? I don't know what it is. I think it's Sword of the Warrior off that Cacophony album, Go Off. Is that 2 hands or 1 with the ride cymbal?" Well, I told him, hey man, it's 2 hands. It's not 1. So basically, It sounds really hard. It's really easy. It's no big deal. I'll show it to you slowly, and then I'll speed it up for you later on. So let's check it out. As you can see, not too hard. Pretty easy to do. Now I'm going to try it for you fast, and we'll just go from there. You'll hear it fast. It sounds a lot cooler, faster than slower. Let's try it. So that's what that is. Pretty easy, no problems at all. You guys should be able to figure it out. You probably already have. So if you have, you can have my job. No, just kidding. That's basically what that is. Let's move on to the next one. So, I've had another question about the same type of lick, only on a different album. It was on the Marty Friedman album, Dragon's Kiss, and it was the song, I believe it was Forbidden City. And it's the same lick, only it's a little faster, and it just sounds a little more heavy metal. And I'll play it for you slow, and then I'll play it for you fast. Check it out. Okay, there you have it. Pretty easy, no problems at all. Basically the same thing, only just a little different variation. I'm going to try it for you fast. You'll hear what it sounds like. Pretty neat little thing. Check it out. Now that we're done with Marty Friedman and Jason Becker, Cacophony, and those albums, I've been asked a lot about the, I believe it's the first song on the first side of Tony McAlpine's Maximum Security album. It's a little fast riff. It's kind of neat. It sounds really cool. But then again, it's pretty easy. And I'll show it to you slow, and then again, I'll show it to you fast. So listen carefully. So that's what that is, slow. Now I'm going to try it a little faster, and I'm sure you'll recognize the lick if you've heard the record. So let's try it a little faster now. This camera over here, nobody ever visits with you, so I'm going to visit with you now over here. That's what it is. Pretty self-explanatory, easy lick to do. It just takes, listening. I'm sure you guys figured it out already, so, it didn't take me to really show it to you. It just sounds real neat, and it sounds real difficult, but it's not. So, on to the next one. Now I'd like to do something that I did on the Tony McAlpine Maximum Security album. It was on the ending of King's Cup, and what it was kind of a six-figure lick, which was 4 on the hands, 2 on the feet. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6 on the bass drums. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the bass drums. Only you're alternating your right hand from the snare drum to the floor tom and back. So you're going, well, I'll show you. What do you say? I'll do it slow, and then I'll do it fast. Watch. that was the lick, a little slower. Now I'm going to do it a little faster, but what I did on the album was I did a lot of variations on that lick. So you can experiment and try it at home, doing different variations with either the floor tom or the high tom, or even the snare drum and the high toms, whatever you want to do. I'll do it the way I did it on the record. First I'm going to do it the way I just showed you, at a faster pace, and then I'll do it the way I did it on the record. So you'll be able to tell the difference. Let's check it out. Okay, that was what I showed you at a slow pace, at a faster pace. Now I'm going to do what I did on the record, which for me is a little hard to explain because it just came out. It was very spontaneous, and it was kind of like spur of the moment. Whatever came out, which was pretty lucky for me, I guess. And I was really glad that it came out on vinyl the way it did. It's a little difficult for me to tell you how it went and how I did it because, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. It just came out. So listen to it and just try some variations on it and see what you come up with. So that's what I did on the Tony McAlpine record. It's a little bit different than what I showed you before, but then again, I really can't tell you how I did that. It's something that's real difficult. It just came from inside of me, and I really couldn't explain it. I've never really learned to read music. That's something I'd like to do in the future. So if any of you out there read music and read it well, give me a call. I could use the help. Thanks. Appreciate it. On to the next lick. Okay, there's one more lick I want to show you. And it's off the Cacophony Go Off album again. It was something in a song called ESP, and it's during one of the breakdowns, and I'm doing something really fast on the high tom, the snare drum, and the bass drums, extremely quick, and it sounds really strange. But if I break it down for you and show it to you slow, you'll understand it. Most of the stuff I do is combinations between feet and hands, so it's just a question of being creative and using different drums and cymbals and stuff like that. That's what makes the chops different and sound really strange. So I'll do it for you slow, and then I'll do it for you faster. Now I'm going to do that same lick a little slower even more. I want to even emphasize exactly what's going on there. So I'm going to do it slower than what I just did it, and then I'll do it a little quicker. So let's check it out a little slower. So again, I'm going to show it to you a little faster. Now what I did just there, both the medium and the slow speed, are a little different than what I did on the record, but you'll get a general idea of what I'm doing. And you'll probably be able to figure out the rest of it if you go buy the record or something. If you already have it, you probably have already figured it out. But this is what it is, a little faster. So that's basically it for the licks that people have asked me about. There's a few others I'm sure that people have asked me about, but I really can't figure a lot of them out. Like I said, a lot of it comes from inside. I'm sure as with a lot of drummers, you know, it's just a question of feel, and whatever comes out, it's very spontaneous for me when I play in the studio. Even when I play live, if I come up with something that I think is, wow, that was really cool, can I remember it? Probably not. My drum tech will say, hey, that was really neat, but you'll never remember it again. And he's probably right. I think that's a good way for a drummer to be, because once you get that type of thing to where you're flowing from the inside to the outside, then you're starting to get really creative and you're starting to look within yourself to find your creativity instead of like looking into records and looking into stuff like that. I've done both actually. I mean, obviously, nothing that I've done is new or different really. It's just variations of different things that I've heard, and kind of whatever comes out just comes out. So experiment, do your best, work at these things, and come up with your own stuff, and I'm sure you do that. Work with whatever I've got, the patterns that I've used, and you can probably come up with dozens of things for each pattern. Different things, with the cymbals, or, with the toms, anything. You got numbers of things. It's really limitless. So just use your imagination and go for it, and good luck. Whoops. Sorry. Oh, hey, how you doing? Hey, let's talk about the seat a little bit here. Not very many people get to talk about the seat, so I figured, hey, I think that's an integral part of the drum kit, because that's basically where you're going to have to be all night long if you're playing, You're doing the big gigs, it's going to take you forever. It's going to be sitting there for a long time, so you better get used to that, right? Well, I'll tell you, when I was younger, about 16 or 17, when I was in a band called Wild Dogs, my seat was really high. I almost sat up to where I was standing up. And for me, the reason I did that was my legs were not strong enough to really sit down low and get the maximum, leverage I wanted out of my legs and the bass drum pedal. So I sat up higher, and it was almost like running in place, basically. I sat so high that my legs were almost like this. I mean, like parallel. It was like almost, it was a trip. So I played like that for years and years, and slowly but surely, as soon as I, graduated and got a little older and started, joining different bands and playing different styles of music, I sat a little lower each time. And now I'm sitting about as low as I want to, which is, I'm getting a good feel out of it. So the way I sit is about this high. I've got my legs almost parallel to the ground. It's just a little bit arched, so I can have a good strong, push from my legs. I'm getting most of my leg working instead of, when I'm standing up so high, it's almost like, using your calves and stuff. I find it a lot easier now to play the faster stuff when my seat is lower. I've seen a lot of guys play with their seat almost like level to the ground, which to me is unbelievable. But like, for instance, Tommy Aldrich, we toured with him with Whitesnake for 3 or 4 months. And it was phenomenal. He sits so low, and his legs work like machines. They're like little pistons. It's unbelievable. And for me, it works the same way, only I need just to get a little bit higher because I'm a little taller than he is. So for me, to keep the seat, at a pretty even level, having your legs almost parallel works for me real well. When you sit a lot higher, like I said, you're not getting the maximum use out of your legs that you should. So a little bit talk about the seat. There you go. Try it. See if you like it. If you don't, sit higher. If you don't, sit lower. It's all personal preference, really. So check it out and see how it goes. slow, aren't they? You gotta love these. It's like, whoa, we're on, aren't we? Expensive studio time, I better get to work. Hey, the next segment we're going to have is going to feature myself with Brad Russell, a bass player, probably one of the best bass players I've ever worked with. Fantastic guy, great player. What we're going to do is we're going to emphasize different techniques that a drummer can put to certain bass patterns or guitar patterns, anything that you're playing with, and coming up with different rhythms for these things. Sometimes you'll have a thing where it's just boom scan, boom scan. Well, that gets pretty boring if a bass player's going do 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 do. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So you try and fix it up. As a drummer, you get creative. Sometimes your band members don't let you. Sometimes they do. But remember, do what you want to do. You're a drummer. I mean, come on. There's us and there's them. So you got to know how to spot the enemy, and there you go. No, guitarists are not the enemy. I was just kidding. So that's basically what we're going to do. Just emphasize what a drummer can do to make a song better for himself and for the band, for that matter. So let's check it out, and check out Brad Russell too. He's pretty smoking. Not good for a drummer to have happen. Squeedly-doot-dee, it's the cornfield in me. Hey, you gotta love that, huh? Next, we're going to do something here that I've had the pleasure of doing a lot of times with the records that I've done with Mike Varney and Shrapnel Records. And that's create different rhythms upon a guitar riff or bass riff that one of the guys comes up with. So I get to come up with different and interesting and weird and obscure beats to try and fix or tasty up the stuff that I'm doing, so I have a little bit more fun. I could do the straight, simple rhythmic thing, but I like to go out there a little bit and be goofy, because that's just the kind of guy I am. So what we're going to do here is we got my bass player friend here, Brad Russell, the man, the myth, the bass cat. And what we're going to do is he's going to show us a nice little riff, whatever it may be. You never know. And he's going to come up with something really cool, and I'm going to put 3 different rhythms to that same riff. And we're just going to try that and see where it goes. And the first thing we're going to do is kind of a shuffle thing. I'm going to do a shuffle thing with the drums, and he's going to do this really out there, obscure funk bass riffing thing. And we're going to listen to what he does here and see where that goes. So that's what I have to work with right there. So I'm going to come up with 3 different things to that same rhythm. So the first one I'm going to do is a shuffle. So here we go. Now, that was one way to go about it. Now I'm going to try something a little different. Something a little bit more straight, more rock and roll. I mean, as far as just straight ahead rock and roll. I would say more kind of like like a Zeppelin thing. Not too much like it, but we're just going to goof off and see what I come up with. So let's go on to the next one. It's going to be the same riff again, the same rhythm that Brad came up with, and I'm just going to kind of work on it and build on it. So this is number 2. Now, the next one we're going to do is a little bit different. It's going to incorporate the tom-toms, my splash cymbals, my China cymbals, and my ride cymbal, and my double bass. It's going to be more of a kind of like a plodding, grooving thing. And I'm sure you'll get the hang of it. And this is what it sounds like. So, that was basically what we did there. I'm sure you can understand it. It's just being creative with what you have to work with. If you have a great bass player to work with, like I've got here with Brad, then you've got a lot of room to expand and experiment and just go wild. So, you know, just use your imaginations and have a lot of fun with it. That's basically what I do. When I go in to do these records, I just go in with a positive attitude, and I intend to have a good time and challenge myself and see what I can come up with. And if I don't, I usually get a knife and kill myself. So we're okay. I'm alive. I must be okay. Okay, now we're going to try something else, the same thing. Brad's going to do more of a Zeppelin riff, more like a kind of a bluesy rock riff on the bass. And I'm going to come up again with 3 different rhythms that I can come up with that rhythm, or with that bass thing. So, Brad's going to do it. I'm going to count it off, and you're going to hear Brad first. Okay, now Brad's come up with this really cool riff, and it's my job now to fix it up and make it a little interesting for the drummer. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of a straight thing, just kind of playing along, almost like Led Zeppelin, just you know, straight bottom, just groove. So this is what that'll sound like. As you can see, that was a pretty easy thing. Wasn't too hard, wasn't too strenuous, just a straight ahead riff along with what Brad was doing. This time, we're going to do the same riff, only I'm going to take it out a little bit. I'm going to do something that the beat just keeps going all the way through. Doesn't change, doesn't do any axes, just do. You'll see. You'll check it out. It'll be a nice thing. Okay, so you see, that was pretty easy. Nothing too major, you know, just a simple beat, and I just, you know, made it a little different, a little more creative. The next thing we're going to do is kind of trade off licks. It's going to be the same rhythm for 4 measures, and I'm going to be doing a double time beat, and then after I do 4 measures and do some chops, Brad's going to come in and do a funk thing, and then he's going to do some chops, so you get to see what this guy can do. It's pretty amazing, so let's check it out. Unbelievable. Brad Russell. Any bass players out there looking for lessons, this is the guy to call. Pretty unbelievable. What we're going to do now is we're going to do something a little bit more mellow, a little bit more on the lighter side. Still technical on the drums. Just a nice little hand tapping technique that Brad's going to do. And I'm going to kind of, you know, do a little bit of simple things, a little kind of a Latin beat. And what we're going to do after that is go on into more of a kind of flamenco rhythm thing. I'm going to kind of play a little bit of stuff, a little beat, nothing real major, and then I'm going to kind of go outside and maybe do some chops inside there and just kind of go outside a little bit. And I'm sure you guys can all follow along, so let's follow along. hope we've showed you a little bit more about being creative in a band situation, playing with a bass player. You know, just approaching different styles as creatively as possible. The reason I decided to put this in the video was because so much today there's an emphasis on commercial music, and everything has to be a certain way, and there's a certain formula that you have to go by. And to me, that can stagnate and sterilize your playing. I think that when anybody tells you that there's rules that you have to go by, and there's a certain, you know, strict formula that you have to go by, they're wrong. There are no rules. There's never have been any rules. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure Brad can tell you the same thing. When you got rules, you know, your musicality is done for. You can't play, you can't do anything you really want to do and be creative about it. So I think that the best thing for you to do as a player is to play with the players that are going to make you sound the best that you can be, and also, you know, enhance your creativity, make you learn, and make you want to challenge yourself as a player. Because the more you do that, the better off you're going to be, the better you're going to play with. If you're playing with a band right now that's more of in a straight rock and roll form, look for other guys to play with, you know, on top of that, on the side. I used to do it, and it actually helps. You know, it's like that's what I'm doing now. I'm playing with Bad English, and I'm also, you know, doing Mike Varney records and keeping my chops up and challenging myself. Brad, I want to thank you, man. It's been a pleasure playing with this guy, man. And you guys look for him. It's going to be a serious force out there someday. Anything you have to say, Brad?
It was just a pleasure playing with you. Had a great time.
Great, man. And I'll give you the $10 and the pizza later.
Okay.
Domino's guy's coming.
The Domino's guy.
We're happening, man. So take care. On to the next lesson. Don't tell me I can't talk. I mean, that's ridiculous. Drummers are supposed to talk. They're hyper. They're energetic. I mean, they're the backbone of the band anyway, aren't they? Hey, anyway, not to put anybody else down, but I hope you liked the video as much as I did. I had a lot of fun doing it. I hope to see you out on the road with Bad English in 1991, 92. If you have any questions, feel free to come up and talk to me. You know, I'll be sure to answer anything you've got, and hopefully I'll use it on the next video. This is the first video I've ever done, so it's been quite an experience. A lot of work, but I'll tell you, a lot of fun. And I hope to see you out there. Take care of yourselves. God bless. I love you. And I better clean up this farm. So enough gabbing. I mean, that's what the tape was all about anyway. Let me clean this up. Any of you guys want to help? I could use the help. I mean, I got to shuck all this stuff by Christmas. You know, I'll pay you. You know, 20 cents an hour and pizza. It's worth it, isn't it? Really? I mean, it's not that bad. Come on. Come on and help. I'll give you drums, okay? You want drums? I'll give you drums. I got plenty. Okay? Come on. You can come to my house. I'll cook you food. You know, you can visit with my wife. You know, it'll be great. We'll have a good time. All right. Come on. Don't just stand there. Let's go. Please? What, do you want me to get on my knees? Man. I'm good, huh? Woo! You gotta love that, man.